These are going to be my thoughts on Cloak and Dagger, Season 1, Episode 8. This episode is called Ghost Stories. Just gonna double check. Yes. And, another episode I love. Not quite as good as Lotus Eaters, but still. Spoilers for everything MCU leading up to and including this episode, but not for anything that came out after this episode first premiered. And the episode is rated, I want to say 16 plus or 14 plus, something like that, so will this video be. And yeah, let's dive right in. So yeah, I quite appreciate the weight that the 8-year anniversary is given. And we learn some really key things in this episode. So let's see, yeah, not sure how chronological this is going to be, but early in the episode, you know, Tandy catches Scarborough leaving Ivan's room, and, you know, we get a little bit of discomfort and, like, you know, what exactly happened here. Tandy opens the door, and the bed is empty, and then we see, oh, Ivan's just on the chair, which is very clever, because we think we've gotten relief of the anxiety that something happened to a good guy on the show. By the end of the episode, something bad did happen to a good guy on the show, you know, the cop friend. So yeah, nicely done with planting that idea in our heads and then having us think, oh, nothing is going to come of it. And yeah, Tandy debriefs Ivan, not in that way, and yeah, is able to proceed the investigation. And, you know, much as I guessed from watching Lotus Eaters that it was going to happen, just they didn't want to mess with the emotional payoff in that episode. And let's see, then we have the, you know, I think I will stay on Tandy's storyline just a little longer. We she goes to Ty's, and there's some great stuff there with, you know, she's just like, what, you know, and he's like, I'm not supposed to bring girls, you know, this is the first time there's been a girl over my house as far as they know, which is a thing of, like, yeah, I feel like, you know, logically Tandy probably knows that. I think she's just pretending that she doesn't get it, because she, you know, if she had asked, it's that thing of, like, yeah, if she had asked, he would have said no. She knows that. She really wants that access card, so yeah. And yeah, it is, you know, they walk in, so who is this and what is she doing here, Ty? You know, and she actually, you know, perhaps inspired by her time with Mina, she actually tells the truth. Not the entire truth, but yeah, part of it. And let's see. Yeah, you know, this, well, nice to meet you. Don't let Thor hit you. And let's see. And it is genuinely sweet that she invites Ty over to the memorial with, you know, her and her mom. And also the thing of, you know, so do you have anything special planned for Billy? You know, for Ty, you know, that's the kind of thing that I feel like she is purposefully sabotaged. She doesn't want to be there for for too long either. You know, that's the kind of thing you talk with she should have talked with Ty face to face, not brought it up in front of the parents, you know. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like she's also trying to make sure the parents don't want her to stay for any longer than at all necessary. Because it's one of those things, like, it's a bit personal, but it's not like she's, like, looking around their house going, like, wow, you guys are poor. Like, I've seen some, I'm sort of homeless, and even I'm thinking, you know, not that there's anything wrong with being homeless, but yeah, you know, yeah, there's plausible deniability, you know. She could say, what, I just want to make sure you're okay, kind of thing, you know. Let's see. Right, I liked Tandy and her mom talking about, you know, the balloon, and you know, one time they got the balloon was not quite appropriate for the occasion, and this stuff. And yeah, you know, she love cinematic shorthand. We just see her dump the waders and the pants, and we see they're wet, and then she walks up and she's carrying something, so it's like, right, she went back to the wreckage. You know, very, very nicely done. And you know, there's no reason for us to see her digging through the wreckage. We can understand what happened from there, and that means the story can move faster. And yeah, you know, she sneaks into the Roxxon office, and you know, I can appreciate, you know, oh, it's convenient that the guards weren't sitting there. Yeah, but you can only get in if you use an access card, and it's not like they're constantly getting stolen. So, and yeah, you know, she cuts up the stuff to get into a situation where she can abduct. I can't believe I already forgot his name. Scarborough, I think it was, and you know, intimidates him. And we get the killer line, do you really know who your father was? You know, because she keeps talking about it's about her father's name. And yeah, you know, she doesn't cut him free. She just, you know, she cuts through the pillar, which of course, yeah, scares the shit out of him, like she says, you know. But yeah, it's, you know, he's in it's what's it called, gaffer tape. You know, you, yeah, given enough time, you can get back out of that. And she didn't cut so many pillars that it would actually crush him. It's just, you know, yeah, putting the fear of Dagger in him. And let's see, yeah, at the end we have the memorial. And yeah, you know, when Tandy and or Ty touches someone, whoever's touching, you know, whichever of them, including both, is touching, ends up inside that person's head in some kind of, you know, fear or memory or that sort of thing. And yeah, I'm not sure it's that the characters just didn't realize that might happen, or if it is just that Tandy legitimately didn't think that there would be anything bad in there, you know. And we don't necessarily think that she's going to be able to talk to the memory of her father, because that's not normally how it works. It only worked in Ivan's mind. It hasn't worked in anybody else's. But it is still, you know, yeah, her being that close and then witnessing that, you know. I love the, you know, yet again on the show we get something that's creepy, that's like normally not, you know, I mean, usually like in a movie theater, like the scariest thing is how sticky the floors are. Is that what it is? I've never been to an American movie theater. I hear the floors are really sticky. I don't know. I suppose maybe it happens sometimes in Denmark. It's just never been a thing in any theater. But then I don't live in one of the biggest cities. Maybe it happens more there. The few times I've been to those have not. Anyway, but yeah, you know, and yeah, Tandy's mom is seeing things the way she wished it was. You know, she wishes she didn't spill the coffee. And you know, the yeah, once Tandy cuts through the yeah, what's it called, the screen, you know, she does actually witness, and yeah, it's absolutely emotionally devastating. And it is one of those things, a number of parents are able to hide that from their kids. You know, Tandy, in, you know, yeah, when that originally happened, Tandy wasn't there to see it. And yeah, you know, her mom and dad never said anything about this. Right, I appreciate that the way the show plays it, it finds a good balance. It's not exploitative, however, and it's also not like excusable. Like, she spilled coffee. You know, she didn't like accidentally stab him in the ass or something. And the you know, obviously violence against women is never okay. You know, like if two women agree to engage in I don't know, say a boxing match, and one of them, you know, is doing much better than the other, then that, you know, there was consent, mutual consent to that, and it would be extremely messed up to accuse without any proper evidence that the person who won was trans if they happen to come from a country where it's literally dangerous to be even accused of being trans. This is just a pure hypothetical. Obviously, something like that wouldn't happen in the real world, and certainly wouldn't be repeated without questioning by news sources and, you know, I don't know, just completely spitballing here. The author of popular children's and teen novels would not be, you know, propagating that lie and you know, causing real harm. You know, like, holy crap, that is a new low. Yeah. Anyway, the yes, the yeah, back to the episode and the whole the memory. Obviously, violence against women is never okay, but it was especially something like, yes, I get it. You know, it was like these were important papers and such, and it's one of those things where I'm like, you could get your own coffee. You know, if you're that terrified of, if it's that big a deal for the coffee to be spilt, you could get your own. You know, but yeah, it's completely out of proportion, and he doesn't apologize after. You know, that's what you'll sometimes see with, you know, but yeah. Let's see. And it is, you know, there are a number of people who, you know, seem to be at least good fathers, but are actually abusive husbands. You know, the relationship that someone has with one person doesn't necessarily dictate how their relationship is with another person, even if those people are so closely related to both each other and the abuser. I think right, and yeah, at the end, you know, she stops touching her mother. That she lets go of her mother's hand and doesn't want to be too close to her. They do still light the balloon. At first, I did think she was gonna like run off or something. And there at the end, you know, she calls Scarborough, says she wants the money, and you know, he's of course really relieved, and she is not hearing it. So yeah, she gets the money, stuffs it inside the decapitated, you know, statue of, I don't know, I'm guessing a saint. I'm not a church person, churchgoer. Let's see. No, it's not because I'm worried that I would catch fire. I already tested that. You know, but yeah, and briefly looks at the statue, and it is, of course, there is a contrast there, something so holy, and then, you know, what do they call it? It's not blood money. It's like silencing money, keeping quiet money. I think you know what I'm getting at. Hush money, I think, is what it's, yeah. Which just makes me wonder how many times it's given to babies to make them not cry. And I mean, I feel like they wouldn't even appreciate it. They'd probably rather have those poppable, you know, what are those called again? The plastic wrapper, yeah. But yeah, you know, she looks at the saint, I'm guessing, statue briefly, and I just want the thing to be like, I appreciate what you're doing. I don't really approve of where you got the money, but every donation is, you know, much appreciated. not the worst place we've taken money from. And let's see. I think that's everything for Tandy. So, Ty. Let's see. Yeah, the thing of, she shows up at his house, the cop, and, yeah, again, I cannot remember the names. I'd look them up, but my wrists are in need of a break right now. Because they had the wrong kind of break. Well, not quite that. Anyway, yeah, she shows up, and he's like, cops at my house? Do you realize, And yeah, she's like, you gotta lay low, because he's really out to and at some point the characters of this show are gonna realize telling Ty to let go of this kind of stuff, it doesn't really go well. Like, it didn't work for the priest either. But yeah, his plan at least got them the confession. By the end of the episode, it does seem like it wasn't quite enough. And I appreciate that we don't quite know yet if it's that the corrupt cop is free again, or if it's something he was working with or something. Someone he was working. Did I say something? Anyway, and but yeah, it is very clever to pose as the ghost of Billy, because yeah, Ty already kind of creeps the cop out, with the power use. We've seen that in earlier episodes, and yeah, to her credit, the cop goes along with it. What are you talking about? This is the drawing that Susie made for you. I didn't see anyone. It was like there wasn't anyone there. What are you talking about? I don't see anyone. Who are we chasing? I don't see. That was very, very nicely done, because at this point there's built up so much trust that he really does think he's seeing a ghost. And normally I'd be against gaslighting, but it's for a good cause. And let's see, then we have the... Yeah, I appreciate how tense it is with Ty at home. The thing, so do you have any plans? Seriously? That was... Yeah. And... Yeah, him getting the cloak was a nice touch. The connection that he has to it, and that it helps him control his powers. And let's see, yeah, really, really cool when he does trick the cop into the confession. When the cop is like among the what are they called, cargo containers, and whipping the gun around trying to find out where he is. I just want him to be like, what are you? I'm Cloak. Or possibly Daredevil. That would also, there's a certain resemblance to that bit in the, early episode. Let's see. And, yeah, he manages to get the cop to empty the gun. And, he pulls out one of the spent rounds from his chest. And, there's what looks like blood on the shirt. Very, very nicely done. Love the Edgar Allan Poe reference. Always down for an Edgar Allan Poe reference. Probably make too many of them on my own. Let's see. If Ty had hit the cop really hard in the head, they could have little little cloaks wandering around his head in a cartoony manner, saying nevermore, nevermore. And let's see. Yeah. I think then right. I really love the cut from, you're under arrest to the gaffa-taped hands of Scarborough. There were also some great cuts in the previous episode. I don't know how I forgot to mention them, but we had, let's see, I think it's Tandy leaving through a door and then arriving through another door. or was it Ty? It was one of them, you know. That was also a great bit. Yeah. That might be about. But yeah, you know, by the end of this episode, you know, there's tremendous danger now. There's only 2 episodes left, and this is really building up to, you know, now, like, whoever stuffed the friendly, you know, pancake cop, you know, part cop, part pancake aficionado, all dead. You know, whoever stuffed Pan Cop into the fridge almost definitely knows that she is part of it as well. So, yeah, she's in danger. Ty's in danger. And let's see. Yes. Right, and it is, you know, are these celebration pancakes, or, you know, they're just pancakes. Oh, these are good pancakes. Oh, so you hate waffles? Is that what you're saying? Oh, sorry. Got possessed by Twitter for a few seconds there. And the, yeah, you know, they're at the end when she's like, yep, I want I want pancakes. See, this is what, you know, you got to be careful about what you wish for. And yeah, you know, there's a bunch of food out on the kitchen table because they had to make room for Pan Cop. And yeah, you know, she's horrified that they would invoke the trope of fridging, albeit they are, you know, divorcing it from the misogyny that's quite prevalent in fridging by it being a woman finding a guy in a fridge rather than the other way around. But yeah, to be clear, it's not always in a fridge, but yeah, you know, it's usually a guy finding, you know, yeah, it's usually a male character being motivated by the death of a female character. Hence misogyny. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to. It was kind of charming, the busting, the ball busting, you know, verbally in when the Red Hawks show up, you know, and talk about the sofa. And let's see. I think that might be. I feel like there's something missing that I still wanted to comment on. Let's see if it's about Ty. Yes, the couple of flashbacks. I guess I'll do Tandy's first. We see what I think is the first time she ever stole. You know, she steals a cell phone to call, and then, you know, she finds her mom, you know, ODing, and I really appreciate, because they could have, you know, it's one of those things like, you know, when you're a kid, you're taught what to say if you call 911. I mean, yeah, if that is one of your experiences, you know, and that thing of, like, you know, yeah, one of the things you're told is you have to be specific, you know, and the fact that, you know, she probably says more, but what we hear her say is, I'm Tandy Bowen, I need help. You know, that is a, yeah, the fact that specifically that is what she says, you know, it's like saying, you know, admitting that she needs help. That's been a problem for her over the course of the season, you know. And I feel like that was probably one of the last times she felt comfortable asking someone for help before the, you know, more recent episodes. And let's see, we also have, yes, Ty, you know, we get the thing about, you know, ghosts are there to right a wrong. They're not dangerous if you haven't done anything wrong. You know, and that's what he uses to get a confession out of the cop. And let's see. Yeah, I feel like there's some condemnation of city life with the thing of the. Or wait, this no, I feel like it counts as a city. Anyway, you know, like, you know, in the defense of the woman who talks about, you know, ghosts and blood transfusion and that sort of thing, she does ask, you know, but nobody seems to ask Tandy, where are your parents? You know, they're like 8, yeah, they're 8 years old, and, you know, yeah, like, Tandy, clearly there's something wrong, you know, why is she walking around in public with no adult supervision in, you know, ballet, I want to say they're called tights, you know, this is not, yeah. So by the end of the episode, it's somewhat soured, but at the time it seemed like a nice moment. See, yeah, we thought that maybe this episode, Ivan something bad was gonna happen to him, but instead it's Pancop, and, you know, the reputation of Nathan. But yeah, the thing of, you know, no, you have to leave the TV on. There has to be distractions. You have to be able to you know, and that again is, you know, it's a good lesson, and it's good if you can teach it to your child in a way. Again, I'm not saying like I'm some expert or something, just, you know, what I've heard, and some based on my own experience. You know, if she, like, when she struggles with the ballet, that's not going to hurt her, you know, so this is a good safe place to you know, like, imagine if she doesn't learn about, if she struggles with getting distracted, what if she gets distracted crossing the street? You know, she could get hit by a car or something. So I brought up that in my video on the last episode as well. I don't know. I think there's been, yeah, it's because here on YouTube there's been a bunch of like PSAs about watching the road when you're driving, so as to not get in a car accident. That's why it's on my mind so much. I keep bringing it up, you know, seemingly apropos of nothing. Let's see, but yeah, you know, so and yeah, the thing, you know, do you really want to play ballet? What, like, play track? And yeah. The other thing with Ty, at age 8, you know, he overhears his parents arguing, which is a really hard thing when you're a kid. You know, you want to feel completely safe and protected by your parents. And yeah, you know, Adina says, I don't feel safe here anymore. And that's a great little moment, because for the next 8 years, basically Ty tried to be perfect. You know, he did sometimes get in trouble before that, before Billy's death, but he's been, you know, really, really on the straight and narrow. You know, we saw that in earlier episodes. Before the start of this season, before the season opener, he was seemingly on the straight and narrow for like 8 years, you know. And now what he takes from I don't feel safe here anymore is I need to stop the cop. You know, Bill O'Reilly's going to be the cop that stops it, and Ty is going to be the guy that stops the cop that didn't stop it. And I'm really glad that Bill O'Reilly doesn't have a platform anymore. Just scum, fearmonger, hatemonger, caused so much damage. I do hold him responsible for the life of Dr. Tiller. Yeah, let's see. I think that might actually be absolutely everything. But yeah, I really appreciate how dark the show is willing to get. Like, it's one thing that they're still in danger, but actual fridging. And, like, at first, you know, when she opens the fridge, we get just very, very brief glimpse. We don't see the detail. And then she, like, takes a step back and holds her hand over her mouth. You know, because since this is the MCU, for a second I was like, oh, this is all they're going to show, because I'm so used to them really holding back. You know, these TV shows, I think this was TV, not stream. Wait, crap. There's so many of these shows. I can't keep track of all of the details. Anyway, the MCU shows have been so willing from the start. Like, let's see, the one that started all was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., from the start, like, just really willing to go dark places that the movies really aren't. So just really appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah. I thought, oh, we're not going to get a good look at him. And then, not only do we see it, but, like, the camera pans up. Like, yeah, it's not as grisly as, like, Sabotage, but it's still pretty intense. I feel like they pushed it about as far as they could. And let's see. I think that is right. IMDb trivia notes. This contains the first reference to the larger Marvel Universe. Officer Bridget O'Reilly makes a reference to her friend Misty from New York. The Misty mentioned is none other than Misty Knight from Luke Cage. Though she doesn't have superpowers per se, she's the only Misty in the Marvel Universe that is in New York with noted abilities. And it's true, she said, oh, I've seen this kind of stuff before. And let's see, the cello soundtrack used in this episode, same used in the opening episode of Daredevil, Season 1, Episode 8. Both of them are Season 1, Episode 8. Shadows in the Glass, when Wilson Fisk makes his omelet, then used again in the middle of the episode. And this episode has Cloak wearing his iconic hood that he is known for in the Marvel Comics Cloak and Dagger. I could imagine, but I don't know for sure, it might also in the comics be that it helps him control his powers. Certainly that is a great explanation for why he wears it. This is one of those shows that would have a little bit harder of a time just justifying, no, that's, it's a comic book, they have to wear a costume kind of thing. And the MCU has always been quite careful to try to explain why, no, it's a uniform, it's some kind of safety thing or something, Let's see, but right, I love when what's it called? When it got, like, distorted, the music. And yeah, I think that is everything, and works out pretty decently with going to go get some back treatment soon, which, right now I got to record pretty close to getting back treatment. Yes, so I am going to try to do, let's see, I'm not sure it's going to be tomorrow, but I'll try to make it very early next week that I do the next 2 episodes left. Really, really looking forward to just, the conclusion of the season. They've done a really great job building towards it. Right, I do kind of wonder if this is if Tandy is going to change her mind on, now, like, she got the money, which I guess must mean she gave up the proof. So maybe they're going to exclusively focus on Ty now. And certainly I could see how, like, for one thing, Tandy wants to protect Ty from the crooked cop, also known as a cop. But let's see, one could also, let's see, I feel like, didn't Tandy also talk to O'Reilly in an earlier episode? So, anyone that O'Reilly worked with is potentially, gonna face the wrath of, whoever exactly it is. And it is, like, I think they did a great job of, like, both making us feel, I gotta admit, I thought that was it. I thought, oh, this is, this is what needs, this is gonna solve it. It is definitely what needs to happen. But yeah, like, as soon as I saw the fridging, it's like, right, because he wasn't working alone. We know that he wasn't working alone. For one thing, he was working with the drug runner guy. They contacted each other directly sometimes. So he used an intermediary to contact him, but nevertheless, it's not like, wait, who are you? No, it's like, I told you we can't meet in public, meet in person, so yeah. But yeah, really, really digging it. Excited to see how the season ends. So, yeah, go forth and do the Lord's will.